Right then, welcome back to the channel. Stephen Howson. After we've done the 5 things we learned, we're going to go through the player ratings, do it every single week after the competitive games at least. I wasn't doing it during pre-season. We're going to get into how I thought every single player did. Sometimes in 5 things and the immediate review, you can miss some stuff. So I want to get into every single player, make sure we don't miss a single one, go through what we thought they did well, maybe what they thought they've got to improve on. So let's get stuck into it, starting with the goalkeeper. Come under a lot of scrutiny for how he handled the very weak attempt to deal with the corner that led to Arsenal's ultimate winner, wasn't it? He has to be better there. I think there's a case to be said that he got fouled, but he has to be better there. He managed 8 out of 18 accurate long balls, showing that United are now capable, maybe, or turning towards going a little bit more direct with it. Outside of that, wasn't really involved in too many saves. There wasn't much that he had to do. What I do like about Bayindir is that he's actually genuinely two-footed. That's probably a big positive for him, but I think he looks shaky. I don't think he looks confident in goal, and I don't think he's capable of being Manchester United's first choice goalkeeper. As I've said a handful of times now, in regard to this game especially, but you know, just in general, for me, Tom Heaton plays ahead of him. And I don't think that's a controversial take in the slightest. I think Tom Heaton is just better than him. On to the defenders then, and actually a bit of a different story. 3 pretty solid performances. Very, very composed from Yoro. 91% pass accuracy, 58 out of 64 completed passes. He had 7 out of 4 accurate long balls as well, which is where most of his drop balls came from. Heavily involved from a defensive point of view. 11 clearances, 4 interceptions, 1 tackle, won all 5 of his aerial duels. I thought it was a really solid performance from him. He was under quite a bit of pressure because of how high United's backline was, but he was hitting diags to wing-backs. He was moving the ball into the final third. He was keeping Arsenal stretched, and he was dealing with their front line as well. Really strong performance from him at both ends of the pitch. For me, strong contender for man of the match. 8 out of 10. Brilliant performance from Yoro. Central centre-back then Matthijs de Ligt. Again, another really, really strong performance. Carried himself like the organiser at the back. Statistically fantastic. 74 touches, 49 out of 57 passes, 86%. Involved in 15 duels, of which he won 9. 10 clearances, 6 aerial wins. He carried the threat at the other end as well. He had a shot on target. He was the one that had the sort of combative role in that back line. He had a real good duel with Victor Gyökeres, which was entirely one-sided in de Ligt's favour. If there's any sort of criticism, it's on him, not maybe, like, he kind of ducks out of the way of that corner as it comes in. But outside of that, very, very strong, very physical performance. 7.5 out of 10 for de Ligt. Luke Shaw, left-hand side of that back 3, he stepped forward aggressively, pressed high, won stuff quite high up. Not quite as good as the other 2 with his passing, 77%, 44 out of 57, 7 long balls attempted, 5 accurate. Chipped in defensively quite well, 4 clearances, 3 tackles, won 6 out of 8 of his duels. All 3 in that back line had really strong performances. At times, it seemed like Arsenal tried to target the space in behind him. Could be because it's Saka and he's their main outlet. Could be because he's maybe the slowest of those 3 in the back line. But they did try and find space in behind him. I would still say that his contribution, though, was good, and he gave us a bit of variety on the ball, especially when we saw him rotating, because he would end up quite high up the pitch, rotated nicely with Dorgu. Still a solid outing, though, and I think he's still a 7 out of 10. Right wing back, Diogo Dalot. Very attacking role in the first half, and dovetailed in nicely with Mbeumo on the right-hand side, and that was helping push Calafiori and Martinelli quite far back. 25 touches, 14 out of 15 passes, 93%, it's not bad. One key pass, one tackle before coming off on the 55th minute. United's crossing threat was sharper with him. Once he was replaced by Delo, we became less direct with our attacks on that side, and it was more of a dribble with Delo, which is to be expected. Defensively, it was pretty light. He only had the one duel, but I thought it was a relatively strong performance. I also think it was a good decision to go with him over Ahmad because of the threat that we anticipated Arsenal would have. Ultimately wasn't that, but I think playing him, it give you a bit of a combative edge, and then it give you the opportunity to go for it in the last half an hour. So solid 6.5. I'm saying no for Delo in this game. Midfielders, Casemiro. Pretty mixed display, actually, from Casemiro. 41 touches, 25 out of 33 passes, 76%. 6 out of 7 accurate long balls, which is a good tool to have when you want to be as direct. And that's one thing that I noticed with this Amorim side this weekend versus last season. We are trying to go forward relentlessly. And Casemiro can be quite useful at that, especially with his long balls. Like I said, though, 3 tackles, won 6 out of 7 of his ground duels, 3 clearances. Arsenal probably passed it through the middle with a bit of ease, though. Zubimendi and Rice did not have, and Odegaard were not in the game in the slightest, but I think the game at times sometimes felt like it bypassed Bruno and Casemiro. It kind of seemed to go from attack to defence, defence to attack, without really necessarily kind of going through the midfield. That could be a feature, or it could be a bug of what Amorim's trying to do. We need a few games to figure that out at the moment. But yeah, 65 minutes he was subbed. I thought it was relatively solid until then. 6.5 out of 10. Bruno Fernandes, as usual, everywhere, and that's sort of the one issue or worry that you have with him in that position. Being everywhere, maybe lacking the positional discipline, but from a statistics point of view, 46 out of 55 passes, 84%, 5 key passes, making things happen, 5 out of 9 accurate long balls, 3 tackles, 5 clearances, won 7 of his 14 duels, also lost possession 15 times, which is typical of the high-risk sort of profile of a player, but Declan Rice only managed 20 passes, and he lost the ball 7 times. So, if he's a safe pair of hands, then, Bruno Fernandes, ratio-wise is right in the same sort of mix as Declan Rice there. He linked particularly well with Mount and Dorgu, and I thought possibly some of United's best combinations came through that. When he was getting on the ball deep, when Cunha started to drop short, United seemed to create combinations that ended up with Dorgu in the final third in space, and that was very dangerous. Work rate was fantastic, 3 tackles, 5 defensive actions, added a little bit of bite. The killer ball wasn't there from him, but the influence was there, and the work rate was there, so 7 out of 10. Paddy Dorgu, very good performance from him at left wing back. Played with dynamism, played with athleticism. He hit the post. What a goal that would have been if it had gone in. What is he doing hitting it from there, by the way? But, he's nearly pulled it off for him. He was mad unsettling for Arsenal's right side, and they almost couldn't deal with it. He got 62 touches, 22 out of 28 passes, 18 duels. The guy is a dueling monster. He won 11 of those. 4 tackles, 5 defensive actions, 2 shots. His XG wasn't big because he was shooting from absolutely wild places, but he nearly got it. He overlapped, he underlapped, he absolutely pinned Ben White into his seat. I think that how direct and physical he was sort of embodies what I think Amorim is trying to do with this high-tempo approach. 7.5 out of 10. Close contender for man of the match, I think. And Mbeumo, tireless on the right. I think he faded. I think that's a match fitness thing, but he was tireless when he was involved, and he was the most dangerous looking United player. 24 out of 30 passes, 80%, 1 key pass, 2 shots on target. His XG was 0.42. 9 duels, won 4, was involved in United's best counter-attacking moments, looks absolutely lethal on the counter. He caught Calafiori out of place time and time again. He made him force blocks. He did fade later on in the game, but he looks like he belongs at Old Trafford, and he looks like he's going to have a mad impact for us. A little bit more presence in the box, and the end product will start to come. 7. Mason Mount, linked up nice, as Mason Mount is known to do. 33 touches, 20 out of 26 passes, 77%. 2 key passes, 4 out of 6 accurate long balls. The amount of long balls in this team has gone up. I'd like to actually have a look at that. Maybe we'll have a look at that about 4 or 5 games in and see if there's like a significant number more than that used to be. 2 block shots. Defensively, it was a little bit light for him. Just 1 tackle, 1 clearance. But tactically, he was key. The movement that he had was linking Cunha, was linking Bruno. Subbed at 65. But a decent little showing from him. Solid, I would say. Solid, and maybe underscored why the manager likes him. Probably going to feature less as Sesko gets match fitness. But if he contributes in that sort of manner each week and starts adding some goals and assists, don't think anyone will have the problem that they've had with him over the last couple of years when he's just not featured. 6.5 out of 10 for Mount. Mateus Cunha. I've never seen a debut where someone doesn't score have me so excited for a forward player. 35 touches, 14 out of 16 passes, which is outrageous for someone with so much flair. 6 shots, 3 of which were on target, XG of 0.4. A game high 20 duels. Talk about him being the most walking player in the league. Go on. But don't talk about him having the most duels on the pitch. Hold-up play was sublime. Really troubled Arsenal. The that flick around the corner was disgusting. X-rated. He was tireless. He was physical. He was threatening. They couldn't bounce him off the ball. He can go left. He can go right. He will shoot. He will link play. It was an absolutely ridiculous debut from Cunha. Like, I'm not going to go as far and say it was as impactful as a Wayne Rooney hat-trick debut, because you don't score, it can't be. But Jesus Christ, did it get me excited. A player that absolutely belongs wearing a Manchester United shirt and playing at Old Trafford. Phenomenal. So, an 8, and for me, tied with Lenny Yoro for man of the match. I mean, let me know in the comments who scores it out of them two for you. But for me, that was what it was. Amad Diallo came on at 55. 2 out of 2 successful dribbles. Looked dangerous driving into the box. 1 shot on target. It was low XG, 0.03. Won all 7 of his duels. How are you getting 7 duels done when you're on the pitch for 35 minutes? 16 out of 19 passes. Like, what a cameo. What a cameo. He's sitting on the bench and he's going, yeah, I ain't going to be sulking. Watch what happens when I get on the pitch. 7 out of 10. Brilliant little cameo there from Amad Diallo. Absolutely, do not forget about me because we've got shiny new toys sort of level of performance. Benjamin Sesko came on the 65th minute, the one that we all want to talk about, right? He got 7 touches, 4 out of 4 passes. So that's like about 3 or 4 games worth of Højlund contributions. 2 shots, that's like about 3 months worth of Højlund contributions. XG of 0.011. 3 duels, he only won the 1. Movement was sharp. Service was limited because Arsenal had completely parked the bus by the time that he came on the pitch. Wasn't a lot of impact that he was able to have, but a 6 out of 10. You know, he managed to get a couple of shots off, managed to link play quite nicely. We'll see the best out of him once we get him match fit for sure. Manuel Ugarte. 17 out of 19 passes, 89%. 1 key pass, 3 duels, which he lost all of. Now, that for me is what takes his performance down a little bit. There's a couple of you that was like, wait, what was wrong with Ugarte's performance when he came on? Well, it was that. It was, he didn't win any of his duels out of his 3. His job is to be the duel-winning guy in midfield. He didn't do that. So even though he had quite successful passing and he had a key pass, he's not on the pitch to do that. No tackles, no interceptions, no defensive contributions, and no duels won. He looks sharp technically and with the ball, but you're on the pitch to be the guy that wins the ball back. So, you know, probably on a score basis, the worst performer in a United shirt. I don't hate him. I wish he would not have been that, but, you know, it is what it is. Let's be honest and objective about what we're seeing here. Harry Maguire. Late cameo for him. He came on in the 79th minute. 5 out of 7 passes, 3 clearances. Gave away a foul which could have been a little bit dangerous for us. Other than that, limited impact, a 6. So I would say overall a proactive, aggressive, high-pressing, duel-heavy, intensive performance from United. It was a little bit direct. We created quite a lot of final third entries. Dorgu, De Ligt, Yoro, Bruno, Cunha, they were the standout performers for me. And Bumo looked bright. Sesko got involved a little bit off the bench, as did Ahmad. Bayındır's mistake ultimately proved decisive. Arsenal come away with the 3 points, but as has been said by multiple people, 37 more games with that level of performance, United don't finish 15th. Mark my words. Let me know in the comments what you think. And let me know what you would like me to focus on over this week if we're going to start looking at stuff. Is there any need for us to break down why United were better than the scoreline suggested, or have we done that to death already? Do we need to look at why Arsenal are so good at set plays? Do we need to maybe talk about Patrick Dorgu and how useful he's going to be? Do we need to talk about why duels are important in football? Because I think some of you kind of overlooked that a little bit. Let me know what you'd like me to have a look at this week. We have time. There's only one game a week. We got time for little sort of magazine style videos if you'd be interested in that sort of shit. And I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.